What's up, shoe care superstars? My name's Nick, and on today's episode, we're gonna take these Yuto SBs from this to this with just a few simple RESHOEVN8R products in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of Shoe Care Academy, powered by RESHOEVN8R. If you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button. Also, click the bell notifications, click the like button, and also leave a comment down below, or you're never hitting on sneakers ever again. Not like you do anyways. Sneakers hates everybody, especially me. My name's Nick, and today we're taking on these Yuto SB Dunk lows. This is my personal pair. I picked them up a couple of weeks ago. I've been wearing them around. No, I haven't skated them yet. Yes, I can do a kickflip. Also, I took these to the Fear Farm with the kid over this last weekend, and it was disgustingly muddy out there. So these things are covered in mud and dirt and everything else from the farm, but we're gonna get them cleaned up and looking great so that way I can actually go skate them after this video, because now that they're dirty, I really don't care anymore. Now let's talk about this sneaker a little bit. This shoe has a lot of premium materials, specifically the premium suede all around the toe box, the back heel cup, the back heel tab. It has premium leather materials here on your toe box, as well as on the side panels. This tongue does have a little bit of a canvas type material, and then it has like this really super fuzzy inside sock liner. So for this cleaning, what I'm gonna wanna do first is dry brush this sneaker to get all of this dirt and mud and grime and whatever else is on top of it off of it. And then from there, we are gonna go into using the solution to really lightly clean any of the excess dirt on any of the suede materials. And we're gonna really focus on not oversaturating it anywhere on the shoe. So we will be cleaning and pat drying as we go. For before and after purposes, we are only gonna clean the right shoe. So I'm gonna move the left shoe out of the way. Next, we're gonna use our soft bristle brush outside to dry brush all of this excess dirt and gunk off of this sneaker. Let's go. Look at that star loss already. Look at that. All right, now that we've dry brushed the shoe, this brush is gonna be extremely dirty because it's covered and caked in all that dirt and mud that was covered on top of it. So before you go inside and actually start wetting this brush, you're gonna wanna make sure you get all the dirt out the best you can. You can tap it, you can kind of rub it against the surface, you can tap it on a wall, do whatever you need to do to get any of that dirt and debris out of the brush before you put solution and water on it and put it back on the shoe, because you're just gonna rub in a bunch of dirty mud. Now that we're done dry brushing the sneaker, we're gonna get into the actual cleaning with the RESHOEVN8R Essential Kit. Now outside, you saw that we cleaned all of that dirt off. This step is crucial in trying to help preserve the condition of the suede and the leather without adding any additional scratches or scuffs into the suede by just brushing that dirt and rocks and mud or whatever else into the material. Take your time when it comes to dry brushing. Even if it takes extra time, it doesn't matter. You want to have as clean of a surface as possible prior to putting any water and solution onto the shoe with the brush. Next, I'm going to take out these shoelaces, and then I'm going to get our cleaning station all set up so we can get this sneaker ready to put back on my feet. I don't know if your guys' came laced over or just mine came laced over, but I don't ever lace my shoes over. I always lace them under. All right, now that we got our cleaning station all set up, next thing we're gonna do is insert our adjustable shoe tree into the sneaker. These are mine, they're a size 8.5. I already know that it's gonna go to this hole right here because I've done this a gajillion times. Simply insert the shoe tree into the sneaker, lock it down. What this is gonna do is give you a nice hard surface to scrub deep into the toe box and get all of that dirt out of it, as well as help alleviate any of the creasing that may be inside the sneaker during the cleaning process. Next, I'm gonna grab our 4-ounce bottle of solution and put 2 squirts into our bowl of water. Normally, I clean the sneaker top down using the soft brush first, then the medium, then the stiff. But since there is still some mud caked in the bottom of the outsole of this sneaker, I actually am going to use the stiff bristle brush first, and I'm gonna wanna try to get all that dirt out of here so that way it doesn't leak back onto the shoe after I already cleaned the uppers. So for this, I'm gonna start with our stiff bristle brush. Now that I've cleaned the bottom of the shoe, I'm gonna start working on the uppers. For this, I'm gonna be using our soft bristle brush. This is the softest brush that we have in our 3-brush pack, as well as the Essential Kit and the Signature Kit. This brush is great to use on any of your premium materials, such as suedes, nubucks, nice tumbled leather, cracked leather, anything like that, because this brush does not harm or damage any of the materials. For this, I'm going to lightly brush and lightly saturate the material and pat dry as I go, because I don't want to oversaturate any of the suede around the eyelets, the toe cap, the swooshes, or even the heel cup. So I'm just going to grab my brush, dunk it, and lightly start scrubbing away and pat drying with our microfiber towel as we go. I just got done hitting the entire upper using our soft bristle brush. As you can tell, I barely lightly saturated the material and then pat dried it all the way around, and I worked in sections, so top section, front section, side section. So that way we didn't let the sneaker really absorb in all the solution in the water. Also, I was a little weary about this pink and this brown bleeding into the white sock liner, so make sure you're careful when cleaning around these areas not to oversaturate them to let them bleed into there. Sneaker's cleaning up really, really good. We're just gonna kind of let the uppers air dry. Next, we're gonna move on to the midsoles. I'm gonna use my medium bristle brush at first, and then I might move over to my stiff bristle brush depending on how good we can get these marks cleaned up. You wanna be weary using the stiff bristle brush on any of your midsole materials, especially if they're painted, because you don't want to risk damaging and or peeling off that paint. Medium bristle brush, midsoles, let's get to it. So I just got done cleaning the midsole of these Yutos using the medium bristle brush. You also saw me using the towel. Basically, this towel is really good for buffing out some of those harder to get marks on the midsole when the medium bristle brush won't do it. You don't necessarily want to use the stiff bristle brush. Just take your finger, wrap your towel around it, and if you want, you can dunk it in some solution. But basically, you just kind of buff out the spot on that midsole. Also works good on some of your leather materials and some of the harder, deeper markings and staining on like sock liners and stuff, because this towel will actually buff out some of those darker stains. Now that we have the whole entire shoe cleaned, last thing we do is the laces. Normally for the laces, I drop them in the bowl of water and I let them soak the entire time I'm cleaning, and then I'll rub them together between my hands and or use a brush. But I saw online the other day, somebody took a standard water bottle, some water, and a little bit of solution, dropped them all in there, shook the bottle up for a little bit, and cleaned them, and they came out looking great. I've never personally done it, so I thought this would be a great time to test it out and see how well it works. All right, now that we have the laces, the water, and the solution in the bottle, I'm just gonna shake it up, I guess, a whole bunch to get them nice and clean. See how well this works. All right, I've been shaking this bottle for a little bit. Let's take the lace out and see how it looks. Fish this guy out. All right. Squeaky clean. Let's take them outside and let them dry. We're gonna let the shoe sit outside in the sun for about an hour. We'll come back, check it, and see how it's looking. Shoe's been sitting outside for about 45 minutes. Luckily, we live in Arizona. It's hot as hell outside, so it dried pretty quick. After looking at it after it dried, I did notice there is a little bit of water damage that I have around the eyelets. Also, there's a little bit over here on the side. Some of that could be from quickly trying to dry it after getting it wet, and or when I was cleaning the midsole and it got wet again and I didn't evenly wet the entire panel. It doesn't look terrible. Plus there's some scuffs and scrapes on the sneaker anyways, just from general wear, since I have been using these almost every day since I got them. So I'm not terribly worried about it. The suede is still pretty smooth, but I think we can definitely make it a little bit nicer. For that, we're gonna grab our soft bristle brush. This brush is included with the Essential Kit, the Signature Kit, as well as our 3-brush pack available online at RESHOEVN8R.com. For this, I'm just gonna go around and lightly brush the suede just to try to get it back so it's not as crunchy as it is. It's not terrible, but I think we can definitely liven it up and make it look a little bit nicer, as well as try to even it out a little bit. So I'm just gonna take my soft bristle brush and lightly brush around. So I noticed on the inside of the sneaker there was a little mark in here. For this, we're gonna be using the RESHOEVN8R Dry Suede Kit, which comes with our dry suede eraser and a brush. We're just gonna lightly go around and resetting the nap back using the dry suede brush that's included with the dry suede kit. So that takes care of resetting the nap all around the outside of the sneaker, as well as this back heel cup. And I also brushed the inside of this sock liner to help get it back to that's kind of like fuzzy, fluffy state. Now, after resetting the nap around this sneaker, I have noticed that it has dulled a little bit. It's not crazy, but it definitely does look a little bit lighter than it did before. A lot of that will be from the solution and then just its natural use of brushing it, just gonna wash some of that color away. So for that, we have another product. It's called mink oil. This stuff is great for revitalizing your suede as well as adding some conditioning to your leather. Works awesome on older sneakers as well to help protect them from aging. For this, you just simply spray a couple light coats on it and then brush it in using either the RESHOEVN8R horsehair brush or the RESHOEVN8R soft bristle brush, depending on which one you have. I really like the RESHOEVN8R horsehair brush over the soft bristle brush because it is very, very soft and it definitely does not damage and or leave any marks on any of the delicate suede materials. So for this, we're just gonna spray a couple coats and then brush it in. All right, that takes care of that. Last thing we gotta do is lace it up. That's gonna bring us to an end on cleaning up these Yuto SB Nike Dunk lows. Now, as you can see from the before to the after, we took them from farmland, covered in mud and nastiness, back to ready to skate. Now that I have used these and worn these and got them dirty and cleaned them up, now I'm not gonna be afraid to go and actually skate them. Before, I was a little weary. Now, I'm not. Now, these sneakers weren't completely trashed. I personally, as Vic likes to say, dog my stuff every day, which I don't. I just like to wear my sneakers. But I know that with RESHOEVN8R, I can always clean them up and get them looking back to how I need them to where I'm not worried about walking around in some dirty, nasty, gross, mucked up, dirtied shoes. So to get these same results for yourself at home, we used a couple different products. The main key element was the RESHOEVN8R Essential Kit. Now this kit includes 4-ounce bottle of solution, all 3 of your brushes, as well as your microfiber towel. Now we use the soft bristle brush to dry brush the shoe and get all of this top layer of gunk and stuff off of it prior to using the solution in water. We use the medium bristle brush on the midsoles and the stiff bristle brush on the outsoles. Now we also paired this with the RESHOEVN8R shoe trees. Now this is an awesome accessory to have. Not only does it help reshape your sneaker, it also gives you a nice hard surface to actually get into the toe box and help get it nice and clean. Also, it helps alleviate any creases. We also use the RESHOEVN8R cleaning mat. We also used the RESHOEVN8R drying rack and bowl combo. Hopefully this has been beneficial for you guys. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button. We drop 2 videos every single week. Mondays, we do customs and restorations with my homie Vic, and on Thursdays, we do another episode of Shoe Care Academy. Speaking of Thursdays with Shoe Care Academy, make sure you check out... I'll be right back. Make sure you're... What did I say? Because next week, we're cleaning up these Tiffany Dunk highs. I thought I trashed mine by going to the farm. I don't know what they were doing in these things, but they are gross. Stay tuned next week. We're gonna take these from this to not that, I guess. Hopefully this has been beneficial. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. My name's Nick, and I'm gonna leave now. I gotta go clean this other shoe now, because it's mine, and it's dirty. So I gotta clean it so I can wear it again. Bye.